I wouldn't say the collective race is evil or even stupid. Sometimes the mind wants to say that, but I don't think those are the right words. It's more unconscious. They're not. Thinking has replaced feeling on a great degree because the internet and the social media has propagated that. People spend so much time looking at the internet and scrolling. This is number one addiction. This is number one addiction, and it's stealth addiction, and nobody knows they're doing it, hardly, because it's so normal. How can you recognize something when it's so normal? It's not like if you're a wino and you're out in the street and you don't even, you just like, you got nowhere to live, you wear the same clothes every day, you're sleeping in, like, then it's obvious. Even then it's not obvious sometimes to the people doing it. They're like, no, I'm good. I'm going to just, next week I'll be straight. All this justification, rationalization. So think about when we're talking about being addicted to social media and the internet, how that goes unchecked, man. And what it does is it makes people into like this, I call it a human automated. If I spend too much time absorbed in technology, number one, it's destroying the electromagnetism of my own nervous system. I'm plugged into this artificial electronic magnetism. That gives me like it disturbs the homeostasis of the nervous system. I felt that when I was a kid, like 7 years old. We played Atari. If I played that damn thing too much, I started to feel like jittery. The nervous system is, it was getting like overloaded because there's too much technology, too much artificial rays and current. But then when I went outside, ran around and did whatever I did and played in the snow and rode motorcycles and go-karts or just walked, I used to lay in the grass and try to pretend I was a bug and I'm crawling in the grass. It was fun. When I did that, I felt calm. I felt cool. I could lay out there all day. So in this modern society, we seem to have lost touch with what real medicine is. That's real medicine. Nature's real medicine, healthy lifestyle habits, good food, good company, that's medicine. Spiritual practice, this is the highest medicine. There's no medicine that can duplicate that on that level. This is organic, homegrown, natural, cosmic medicine, and there's no side effects. That's regenerative medicine in the truest sense, in a holistic sense. So if I am too obsessed with like looking at a screen all day, and look how addicting that is, man. That just pulls you in. It just pulls you in. You watch a video and you look to the right and you see all these other suggested videos. I can feel that pull, that gravitational pull, to where if I wasn't at home inside, that's the thing. Some people aren't at home inside. If you're not at home inside, you get pulled into things because there's no access. You're not stable. So you just get pulled into things that trigger a dopamine hit. You're like food for the matrix. It just pulls you in. Here's some stimulation. Oh yeah, good. And then the people know how to capitalize on that with titles and the way they structure the videos and just to hit that dopamine center. And then we fall for it. Then we have to wake up. We have to be more conscious of like what we're doing. Otherwise we become like a human automated or human AI or something. It's like we're not even a human being yet. And then we lose touch with feeling. And then it's like thinking replaces feeling. It's like all mind. It's all brain. That's a machine, man. Super desensitized. No intuition. Just all brain thinking. And then we get numb. You get numb. Like, this is why women are important to be on the planet. They're usually more in touch with their feeling. Not all. Nobody's perfect here. But women, if they're somewhat balanced, they're more in touch with their being. Being is feeling. That's important. It gives balance. If there were all men here, Or if there was all women here, it'd also be bad. So God knows what he's doing. He makes, makes balance. But I noticed, see, it really helped when I left the country because I got perspective then. You can't see this if you're in it. You need a higher vantage point so that you can look, you get some perspective. So when I left 25 years ago and I went to places like villages in Brazil and India, and it's like a lot of conditioning got deleted. A lot of these programs and habits and everything got deleted. And the technology wasn't even as bad back then as it is now. So I can just imagine, man, how much the deleting of unnecessary programs that a lot of us have absorbed is crucial if you want to get back to a natural inner homeostasis inside. Otherwise, you're just kind of lost, just floating around. You're like a product of the machine. It's running you. It tells you, it's all again, the dopamine addiction. Here, look at this. This will get it. Here, go do this. Check your motives while you're doing anything. Is it actually authentic and whole? So, let me see here. Talk about too many. Oh yeah. So all of that creates a lot of chronic stress. This whole thing with being obsessed with more productivity. This is the thing. People in the modern society are super obsessed with productivity and more gains and more. Got to get more. Expand. What does it do? Question that. Bring that into your introspection. What's that going to do? The mind says, oh, then I'll be comfortable and I'll be happy and then I can relax. It never happens, man. You get stuck in that, and it's never enough. There's always the next thing to do, a next thing to get. Become a millionaire, then you want to be a billionaire, and then you let's say you divert back to a millionaire, you're going to be crying because you're not a billionaire anymore. It's like, do you even need to be a millionaire? Being so identified with external driven goals, what it does, well, it causes a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, but it's like, if I did that, my whole life would just be artificial and fake. My relationships would all be fake. I'd be talking to people because they can help me somehow get ahead and give me, help me be more successful. Like we're using each other for that. There's no real intimacy. We're not vibing on each other's quality of consciousness or energy. It's all utilitarian driven. And the same like sex nowadays is so disconnected. It's just all about the dopamine hit. There's no sharing of energy and merging with your partner on an energetic level and experiencing what that is. No, it's just like, let's use each other for another dopamine hit. So a lot of people's nervous system's wrecked. They don't know it because, you see, if my nervous system's wrecked, but I keep stimulating it, I don't know it's wrecked. I keep getting the stimulation. So I'm like, oh, I'm okay. That's why when I left this country, you don't have to leave the country, by the way, because don't let the mind create stress on that too. Because there's some people you can't just leave the country where, it's not possible. So the mind will say, oh, if you can't leave the country, you're really screwed. No, you have to find your own, just cultivate your own ashram. Maybe it can be in your closet. You just get away and you sit there and burn a candle and just get centered again. But when I left the country, that's how I started to see all that, how much toxicity I absorbed. When I left the country, I got away from it and it started to run out of me. I had to detox that stuff out of me. What else we got here? I lost my place. I don't know how good it works, but I try to make bullet points to keep me focused, but at the same time, I got to flow. And when we're talking about some of these things, there's so many things that come up, I feel, when I'm talking that are important, and I want to give justice to that too. And so sometimes, we can't stay focused. All right. The soul goes to sleep. I wrote that. That's how I felt. That's how I felt when I was just deep into human identity, chasing goals and ambitions. I remember, and I've shared this before, I wanted to make a bunch of money. I went and sold cars. I made $10,000 in a month. And I remember when I was going home that night, I said I felt like I sold my soul to the devil. It was just like a feeling, just a thought. I didn't give it much, I didn't analyze it, but that's what I felt. But then looking back in retrospect, it's because I spent so much life for it. It takes energy to make money, to make paper. And I realized, like, what was it worth it for? The more money I found to make money, a lot of money, I usually would have to compromise somehow my values, my integrity, etc., to make the bigger money. And I think that's why I had that feeling like, damn, I like sold my soul to the devil. But the mind will justify and call it being productive. I'm being productive, and I'm a professional, and I'm well-to-do in society. Yeah, working 70, 80 hours a week. Like, well, is this why I come to this planet? I started introspecting all that when I left and got away from everything and came back to ground zero. I'm like, what's going on here? Is this human life just about that? I remember something Sean Strickland said, though. he was talking about, he had said something on a video that there was another video floating around, and it was like a violent clip of a real life event taking place. You know, because nowadays people shoot the video, everything, and they put it up, and it takes a minute before the platforms shut it down. But so some people got to see it, you know. That's the thing, when you see so much garbage and dirt and violence, that desensitizes you. You get to where you can't even, like, your compassion level goes way down. You start to, there's some people think it's no different, you know, they play the video war games and everything, and then they go outside, if they see somebody getting hurt or beat up, somehow they're like, oh, whatever. I see that all the time in a video game. It's like they've lost feeling, man. That's a sick state to be in. And when you get numb like that, and this is what I want to say about Sean Strickland. So he said, he didn't get to see this video I'm talking about. I didn't either. And I didn't even know what it was until months after it came out. I don't even watch my own videos, let alone like anyone else's. I don't really want to watch anything else. There was a time when I watched some things, but lately for a while I don't want to watch anything. So he or read anything. But I went through like years where that's all I did. So it's like you have to collect the information, and then you assimilate it, and then you let it marinate and crystallize. You don't need to keep consuming more and more and more and more. See, that goes back into this thing I'm trying to, what the video's about. People are obsessed with more and more and more and more. No, you get what you need and then forget about it and then apply that to your life. So he didn't get to see this video, and he mentioned that. Somebody was interviewing him. He said, man, I wanted to see that, you know? And then he got a lot of backlash. People are like, what, are you sick, man? Why would you want to see that? What happened to that person like that in such a violent way? And, you know, I respect Sean because he does have some introspection. He reminds me of me when I was a teenager, you know, just way out there, man, just say anything, just do anything. And so he made a video kind of making amends for that. He said, look, man, social media, modern society has dry rotted my brain. He says, guys, I'm numb. He's like, I'm dead inside. I can't feel anything. I think he did use the word dopamine hit. I wanted to see the video to get that dopamine hit. He says, I can admit this though. He says, can you? He says, a lot of you are like this. That's the thing. That's the thing. The sickness is so deep. If one's too mentally sick, you don't even know you're mentally sick. Yeah, that's a that's a dangerous place to be in, man. Oh, in the spiritual field, that's been hijacked too, to a degree of human automatons just parroting concepts, spiritual concepts that they think sounds good for the means of monetary value and more views and more popularity. You just repeating concepts is totally meaningless unless you embody what you're actually saying. Don't even say it. I mean, for the authentic ones, if you want to, sound mystical and talk eloquently about spirituality and maybe dazzle some people and that will get you paid, then yeah, so be it. I mean, we live in a world where a lot of things are merchandised. Everything's like merchandised. So the reason I'm sharing about all this is check yourself, do introspection, and see where are you at? Where are you at with that? Now, after we do the introspection to see where we're at, we can't get the solution unless you see what the problem is. So this is why introspection is important. You look and see where are you at? Where are you at with yourself in terms of like your daily life? What's happening? Are you lost most of the day, just caught up in dopamine stimulation and doing this and doing that and chasing this and chasing that? Like, sit down with the pen and paper and write and see like ask God to give you clarity though, and see like, what am I doing? That used to be my heading when I would do this introspection back in the day. I'd say that was the title. What am I doing? Then I'd write what I'm doing. Oh, I'm going after this. I'm going after that. It makes things clear to see like, is this really meaningful or not? So then, when you write all that down, and you find out like, what am I doing? And you make a list of the things you're doing that are just totally meaningless and that are just wrecking your nervous system, then you want to see. So at that point you realize, oh, I need to get grounded, man. I'm like out of myself all the time. It's like my thoughts, my goals that I'm chasing, everything, it's like I'm not at home. I'm like out here in my projections, living for some future event. Like all my attention's there. I'm not home. Okay. Then you realize, if you see that, it's like, whoa, I need to get grounded. My next video is going to be about that. I can only talk about so much in one video. You're like, I need to get grounded, man. How can I get grounded? Well, first stop the stimulation, because you have your list now. What you're doing that's overly stimulating you and wrecking your nervous system. How can I get grounded? Stop doing that. You have to have a realization too that, see, this is the other thing the mind will do. It'll tell you your solutions also out here somewhere. Everything's inside. The most valuable medicine, the most valuable spiritual insights is inside. It's not outside. So it's good when somebody realizes that. They're not chasing the special technique or course or a special pill to fix them anymore. Everything out here is like on borrowed time. It'll make me feel good for a little bit, and then I'm gonna be left empty again. I remember when I was 20 and my nervous system was so out of balance, I had to take some pills, and I did, some benzos. Man, I was cool. I was so chill. That's when I think I made the $10,000 because I was so chilled, selling cars. Oh, you don't want to buy a car? No problem, man. I'm gonna like stand back here and just, if you need something, I'll help you. That's when I was on the pills. When I wasn't on the pills, I'd be like, you don't want to buy a car? No, we're just looking. Just looking. Once you go stand on the side of the freeway and look at cars, and why you bothering me? Then, I'm here to sell cars. There's a chapter in my autobiography book about, I think it's called Con Man. Yeah, talk about when I was selling cars. It's raining. So I was chilled though on these pills, but they stopped working. First, I needed more. It kept going up, the dose. Then after some time, they stopped working altogether. And when I reflected on it, I'm like, well, yeah, what do I expect? How do I expect something outside to magically fix me? I can't. And I ended up as bad as I was before when I needed to take them. Life is hard, period. It's hard. That has to be understood. So what did you do? How did you, if that stopped working and you were all messed up and your nervous system, what did you do? I did what I'm telling you I'm doing, what I'm trying to share with you. I just chilled. I didn't have the energy anymore to go consume and more productivity, more. And I said, man, I got to relax. I don't care. I just want to be balanced. That's it. I don't care anymore about any of this stuff. I just want to be balanced. Then intuition could start to function and kind of guide me. I had inner passion to come back to a semblance of inner balance. Not everybody has that. It's karmic, it's destiny. I don't know. I'm talking to those who do though, who have that. Listen to that. Follow the dictates of your own inner sanction. It knows what it's doing. It will find you the right people, the right books, or the right videos, the right lifestyle, the right diet. It'll find everything. It takes time though. It's a gradual unfoldment because life is like that. Can't get everything. This isn't the astral dimension where you can just manifest. This takes time. So one needs patience. But I can tell you this, if one has real inner passion, it's not even yours. It's like divine. Like you're meant to figure it out, basically. You're meant to get balanced inside in this planet, on this planet. No matter the external circumstances, no matter your health situation, nothing. It's like your destiny. You just can't help it. You're here to get balanced. Those beings who are like that, and then you don't give up, yeah, it's just a matter of time, man. You'll be all right. We got to go through the grind a little bit. And so these videos and my books that I wrote are here to inspire that, to keep you focused on what you already know. But life gets hard, so we need some confirmation sometimes. Some like you're cool, just keep going. That's all. This is all I'm doing. I'm giving you that. All right, I'm gonna get out of the rain. I'll see.